What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to do a tow hook shaft installation on this Type R. Let's get into it. All right guys, so your Raceseng Type R tug shaft came in the mail, and this is what you're going to get. You're going to get the hardware installed with washers. You're also going to get the tow hook shaft nut and the Type R tow hook shaft itself. So just make sure you guys have all these parts. If not, you can email our customer service, info@Raceseng. We'll get you guys taken care of. Just make sure you have all this stuff before you start your install. So now we're going to get into the tools that you guys need. Before you get started, guys, let's take a look at what tools you're going to need to do this install. You're going to need a 1/2-inch torque wrench with a bunch of 1/2-inch extensions. You need a good amount of these. You can stack them up or you can get a longer one, but these are required to get into the bumper beam, the tow hook shaft into place. A 17mm 1/2-inch socket. You're also going to need a 3/8" ratchet with some extensions as well. You're going to need a 12mm socket, a 14mm socket, 17mm socket, an adjustable wrench that goes to a minimum of 1 inch. Either that or our tug tool will allow you to tighten the shaft nut. You're also going to need a small prying screwdriver, a utility blade with a brand new blade, and also a file. Those are the tools you need to get the install done. Let's get into it. Before we get into the installation, I want to remind you guys that we do have a printed insert of these instructions. You can always reference that. Included in your box was a little black card that had a QR code on it. That QR code will actually take you to the website where these instructions are housed. So let's get into how we're actually going to do this install. The first step of this process is to take your take 2 fingers and reach behind this grill insert here. You're going to feel a little tab. What you want to do is you want to push in on that tab, and then you want to push back towards you. Once you'll do, you start to see the grill come out. Once you get a little piece of the grill come out, you can reach your hand up here and just slowly unpull this thing. It comes out really easy, it doesn't take a lot of force. All right, your next step is get a small screwdriver blade, and there is a plastic fastener. It's down right behind this edge of the grill. You want to remove that fastener. What you do is you put the head of the screwdriver underneath the head of that fastener and just pull up on it, and the fastener will pull out and the whole grill will come out. So you want to put the head of the screw right under that clip and then pull it out, and then that whole grill assembly will pop right out. All right guys, the next step is to grab your 12mm socket, ratchet, and an extension, and you want to remove this horn bolt right here. What we want to do is we want to take the horn off. We want to unplug this fastener back here. So let's give that a shot. One thing you want to be very cautious of is when you remove this bolt down here is not to drop it. You want to disconnect the harness from the horn itself. One little trick with getting the horn removed from the harness is grab a little small screwdriver, go in right under the white clip here with the tip of the screwdriver, and you can just undo a little latch. That latch is connecting to that part. That's all you gotta do to get this removed. Once you have this removed, set it to the side with the bolt. Make sure you do not lose the bolt, and we'll go on to the next step. After you have the horn removed, you're gonna grab a 14mm socket and some extensions. The longer the better for this case, because you need to get all the way in here, and you have to remove these bolts. So remove both those bolts, set them to the side. All right guys, you're now ready to install your actual tow hook shaft. What I suggest doing is putting 1 bolt through, and you also need a 17mm shallow socket on your extension for this. What I suggest doing is passing this in through the bumper beam with the socket and the extension on the head of the bolt. That way the bolt doesnson drop out. Now get your other bolt and do the same thing. You also want to make sure it's got alignment. You guys are now ready to torque down the tow hook shaft. You're going to need a 1/2-inch drive torque wrench, and this isn't the ideal scenario, but these are all the 1/2-inch drive sockets we have. And you're going to need also a 17-inch socket. I'm using a deep well here just to try to get some more length out of this. So you need a fair bit of length on this side of the bolt in order to clear the bumper to tighten these bolts. You want to torque them down to 60 foot-pounds. Just take your time. All right, just double check the other side. Tow hook shaft is in. You guys are ready to reinstall your horn now. What you want to do is you want to plug it in first, grab your harness, and now what you need to do is you need to relocate this. It can't sit in a position it was before. We suggest putting it off to the side like that. All right guys, tow hook shaft's in, torque down, horn buttons relocated, tightened up. Now we move on to the part that everybody's a little scared about. There's no reason to be scared about doing this, but basically you need to cut these 3 panels out in your OEM grill in order to allow the tow hook shaft opening, or a tow hook shaft, to protrude through this opening. It's not hard. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to do it with simple steps, so let's throw it over onto the workbench and try it out. We're now ready to cut the grill opening. You guys are gonna need 2 basic tools, more of a flat bladed file. The finer the file, the better. You don't want too heavy or raspy of a file. When you're filing plastics, it's a lot easier to use a finer file. And you need a utility blade with a brand new blade. This one's fresh. I'll show you guys exactly how to use this. We're gonna get the camera in closer. I wanna show you guys exactly what I'm doing. What we're trying to do is we're trying to cut out these 3 panels. We'll show a diagram right now in this video showing you exactly 3 of the panels we're cutting out. They're gonna be marked in red in an image. So let's try it out. All right guys, we're in the final steps of this process. Your grill's cut out, tow hook shaft's installed. Grab your retaining clip that held this on originally, put this back in place. Just push it in, make sure you got all the tabs in place. And that's it guys. Now you can move on to installing your tug system part that goes in here, whether it's a tow hook or a license plate relocator. Appreciate you guys buying, supporting our brand. If you have any feedback on these videos, we'd love to hear it. If you have any questions, just email tech@Raceseng. That's TECH@raceseng.com. Hope you guys enjoy your product. Enjoy the drive.